are recording this so that we can post it later on our Facebook group. Oops, I messed it up here. Okay, so we can post this later on the Facebook group. But I want to get started right away because I know everyone's time is super valuable, especially right now. So many of us are at home and to have little kids running around, and I cannot promise you that I won't have a kid pop up in here or, you know, a dog or a husband or anything. But it's crazy town, right? It's crazy time right now. And I'm just really happy that you guys were able to make the time to get on here. I miss seeing your faces. I mean, it's only been what, 1 week? It hasn't even really been 1 week. And I've missed just, you know, looking forward to getting together with you guys and going to our favorite place and having, you know, coffee, and I don't drink coffee, but tea and great food. So I'm so happy that we're able to get on here today. It is crazy town. It is crazy time. And, you know, this is unprecedented and we're all kind of most of you are probably stuck at home, I would assume, right? And many of us are moms, so we are indefinitely stuck at home right now. And I know that it is, can be really scary, and many of our businesses are not like life necessity businesses, right? So I am trying to think if there's anybody here that does have a business that is like, you have to have it. Unless you sell toilet paper, then I really don't know, you know, what that would be. But certainly a personal stylist is not a needed thing right now for, you know, for my audience, for the people out there, for the women out there. Could I help them? Could they take advantage of this free time? 100% yes. And I have actually started a special that you know, to make things go a little more virtual, and I'm working on some things there. But where do I find the time to work, right? Where do you find the time to work? Noelle is probably a great example. She strictly works online with businesses, and she still probably has to work and manage what they're doing and manage their presence online and all the other tasks. She doesn't just manage social media. But so many of us are having to work and try to fit it in where we can. I am like piecing together like 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, and often staying up, you know, late at night to get things done. So I totally understand that our lives are a little bit turned upside down right now. And for those of us that are in creative entrepreneurships or creative businesses, or if you have a business that's been shut down, I know restaurants and many stores and stuff have been shut down. So it's a little bit scary, but we are going to push through. So you've probably read all the posts on Instagram. There's a lot of great, you know, female boss babes and creative entrepreneurs and bloggers and just that are putting out great tips for how to use this time. Like, what can you get done? And for me, I was like, oh my gosh, I am finally going to tackle this email thing, right? I am going to do it. If those of you that have not been with us from the beginning, we started in October of last year, and our first hot topic for the month was email marketing. And I learned everything I could about it, and I downloaded all this information to all of you. We discussed and discussed and discussed and talked for a month long about email marketing, and I didn't do it. I didn't, you know, I didn't actually go in and start it. I think I've sent out like one business casual email. I see, Jennifer, that you're saying you're not receiving emails. You are definitely 100% on the list. So maybe checking your spam. I will go through and look too. I'll make a note to go make sure that it got delivered to you, and then I have the right address. But if you guys are not getting the emails from business casual, then please, you know, DM and let me know. So the email is coming from the mamacrush@gmail.com, but the title of it says Business Casual Mastermind. So like if you open up your email, it should say Business Casual Mastermind, and then the actual email address is the mamacrush at Gmail. Sorry. So I wanted to talk to you guys about email marketing, and I want to keep it right at a half hour because you know I can talk for a long time. So if any of you think I'm going too long, just let me know. But because of what's going on right now, we see that, you know, something that happens, and this is not just locally, obviously it's global, what's happening, and something can kind of stop the world and shut the world down. Now, fortunately, the coronavirus is not a virus online, right? It has not attacked our computers, our social media yet. And people are using social media and using email and using all of these things to stay connected. We're using virtual meeting right now to stay connected. So it's, you know, it's like this blessing. It's this wonderful thing that we have. But because of that, everyone is on their social media right now. So it seems like, well, this is a great time to be on there, and you should be on there. You should be sharing and talking about your business and all the ways that you are going to come back with a fire, you know, or that you are going to help people right now. It's great to just stay informed. It's great to stay connected. But because there are so many people much more active on those social media sites right now, it's even harder to push through the noise and to push through the saturation and have your content be seen. So while you should be putting it out, you know, you should be doing what you can to still promote yourself and promote your business and build these foundations and building blocks for when we kind of reemerge into society. Also know that the statistics that we've had before, for instance, one of the statistics that we've learned before is that, you know, users miss about 70% about what you put out there, even your followers. So your followers probably only see organically 30% of what you put out as far as content goes. By the way, this is really hard talking to you guys without being able to like see your faces smiling, and like that, I can only see a few faces at a time here. But so it's really awkward. So anyway, though, because typically your users your people that follow you may only see about 30% of what you are putting out there. And that's due to the algorithm and all, you know, and people not being on Instagram and Facebook 24 hours a day. But at this time, I think it's even probably more difficult. And I say that meaning organically, like something that's being pushed out to your user, to the followers that you have without help from you. I mean, if you directly send something to someone, obviously they're going to see it. And also, you're good at talking. You're funny, Eve. And also, or if somebody's coming directly to you, like if, you know, Jen hops on is like, oh, let me see what Leanne's doing today. She might go directly to the Mama Crush. But just natural things for your audience to see. Normally they see about 30%. I would say it's probably even less right now because everyone is on there. I know I have put more stories out in the last week than I have ever done before. I mean, I look on there and I'm like, you know how you see the little tiny dots, the dashes? You know, sometimes I usually have like 3 or 4 and they're all like, because I am just constantly, you know, filming what we're doing all day and trying to give the behind the scenes of what it's like to be at home with 5 kids. And let me tell you, it's not easy, but it's going well. We're on a very strict schedule here. And so anyway, the point is that social media, we've discussed this before, even after we've discussed our email marketing month, even after that hot topic month, we talk about it all the time. You know, we don't own social media. We don't own Instagram. We don't own Facebook. We have no control over what happens. I mean, what if there was a coronavirus for, you know, the World Wide Web and Instagram or Facebook shut down? What are you going to do? And the answer is exactly what we're here to talk about, and that is email marketing. And so if you do not have an email list, start to build one, ladies. And if you have one, good for you. I had one. And, you know, I started talking about this in October because I had this great list of about 500 people that were past customers of mine from my old business, or that, you know, friends and family, or when I've done a speaking engagement and I've gathered emails, and from our business casual group. And I was just sitting on it and I wasn't doing anything with those 500 people. And so I was like, I'm going to talk about this with our group because it's going to make me do it. And I learned so much and I got really excited about it. And then real life crept in and I didn't do it. So now my goal while we are on this Corona-cation is to really get good at it and get in the habit of it so that once we get back to normal life, it's just an easy thing. So I wanted to kind of go over a couple of things with you guys. Why email is so important. We just talked about that because you only own a couple of things when it comes to online marketing. And I'm not talking about your physical in life, real life products. I mean, those things are yours, your store, your products you sell when you meet in person. That's, you know, that's, you own that sales call. But online, which is what everyone is doing right now, you only own your website or blog and your email list, right? That's the only way that you have to contact those customers or those followers or those, you know, that audience outside of social media. You know, it's really hard for me to see this chat room here. Let me see if I can fix this. Okay. Sarah, we're going to go over that, what you're asking there. I'm sorry, guys, if I have to stop and check the chat. For some reason, I can't get it to pop up on the side here. I'm sure one of you guys knows how to do that. But so to build an email list, though, you know, it can sound overwhelming. It can sound daunting. For me, 500 people, I'm like, fantastic. I have 500, you know, people. That doesn't mean 500 people are reading my emails, but I have an audience of 500 that I can at least try to talk to. I mean, if you walked into a room of 500 people, it would be amazing, right? And not everybody's going to take to what you're saying. Not everybody's going to want to listen to you. Some people might put their headphones in and tune out, and that's okay. But I know that I have at least a pool there. But when I started with 0. And you too, if you're starting this out, you're going to start with 0, and that's okay. Here's some tips and tricks on how to get this email list started, okay? There is the physical email address, entering it. I mean, when I started my email list, I put my mom on there. I put my best friend on there. You know, I added my husband. I mean, I'm like adding the people that I know are okay with me putting their name on this list. Or I'm like texting them like, hey, you're gonna start getting emails from the mama crush, you know? And I mean, and then it's all good because those are people I actually know and I know that they'll be okay with it. But then you can actually do this physically as well. Now, normally I would say when you're out about in person and you run into somebody at the grocery store, and that's obviously not happening right now. But, you know, let's say Holly Lucas, who's in our group, you know, she's a good friend of mine. We're very good friends. I think she's on my email list. I should go check. But I may just reach out to her and be like, hey girl, do you mind if I put you on my email list? And because we're such good friends, she'd probably say, yeah, of course, no problem. Or she maybe she'll say no. I don't know. I'm sure she gets a lot of emails. But that's a very, very, very basic pull up the bootstraps and collect some email addresses, right? Get your list started. I mean, it's much more encouraging seeing the number 5 than seeing the number 0. And you just kind of snowball from there. Sometimes you can, you know, you do this in a lot of different business scenarios where you like make a list of all the people you know. Well, I don't sit and write out the list of all the people, but I do kind of go in my head. Okay, so I mentioned Holly. Now, how do I know through Holly? I know all the girls in her office. I know her neighbor. I know this person. And these are people you could actually really reach out to and just ask them if, you know, they mind if they want to be put on your email list. In person, when we get back to normal life, business cards are a fantastic way to do this. I talk about this when I talk about networking, is that, you know, collecting business cards is not like it was back in the day. We don't take business cards and toss them in a Rolodex and then flip through it. I don't know how many of you know about a Rolodex or what it is, but I had one. And, you know, we don't do that with business cards anymore. Many times we take those business cards. You often will get maybe their social media account from there, you know, or maybe, you know, phone number and stick it in your phone and toss them. Or you take a screenshot and you toss them. But there's email addresses almost always on those business cards. And so when someone hands you their business card for whatever reason, whatever you're in, you could say, oh, I see your email's on here. Would you mind if I added you to my email list? 9 times out of 10 people, you're face-to-face, they're going to say, sure. I mean, they may not even know what you're talking about, but they'll be like, okay, sure. Or do you mind if I email you? You could say that too. Like, do you mind if I email you? So these are just, I know it's like, seems like drops in the bucket. Like, well, that's going to be like 1 a week or 2 a week or whatever it is. But if you do that and you get into the habit of it, it's a way to build your business or to build your list. I'm sorry. Other ways to build your list, and I should probably back up a tiny bit. No, let's just keep talking about this. Other ways to build your list. All right, I got to get through this quickly. Are a pop-up box on your website, on your blog. You could also do a link in your, you know, in your Instagram and Facebook profiles. You could have a link, you know, like, oh, you want to hear more from me, or you want to learn more about what I do, that kind of thing. And people can put it in, put their email address in, and you can link that to your email service provider. I would think for every email service provider, you can do that. You can create some sort of opt-in box, and also on your website. If you run a website, you can do like a widget where you can collect email addresses and it goes straight to your list. So you could also do a contest or a challenge. So maybe because I'm a personal stylist, I might say, who wants to, you know, I'm putting this out on social media, who wants to join me in a 5-day get dressed challenge, you know, and get dressed every day. I'll give you 5 different outfits. And I may have moms or women that want to join me. and they have to give me their email address, and then I have their email address, and I can nurture that contest through those emails. Even if I'm actually doing the challenge on Facebook or, you know, on a Facebook group or something, I can still get those emails collected. You can run a contest or something like, you know, a giveaway, a contest, but you have to collect emails to do that. Obviously, you have to have the tech here to collect to get them onto your list. But if you need to go bare bones basic, guys, use the little stickers and Instagram stories, use, you know, Facebook comments section, and just collect the email addresses and put them in. Tell people to DM you, whatever it takes to get this email list going, because once you start rolling and start the ball, it's like a snowball effect, right? And it'll keep going. You could do a quiz. Maybe your, whatever business you're in, people love quizzes. Like they just do. They love quizzes. They love answering questions. Create a fun little quiz. Maybe, trying to think, an interior designer. We have quite a few interior designers in our group. Maybe the quiz is, you know, what style interior design do you like? And you go through like 10 questions and you answer these questions. And then at the end, you know, I'll email you with your results, and you can look at them as they come in and decide, oh, this person is a modern or traditional or whatever it is, you know, all these different, I don't even know the styles. I'm just kind of using examples here. So anyway, a quiz is a really great way to collect email addresses as well. The biggest one, the one we talk about all the time, is creating a freebie or an opt-in or a content upgrade. Those are different names for the same thing. It's something that you have created with content and, you know, great information for your audience that they can get from you for free by giving you the email address. And there are workflows and ways you can set this up in your email service provider so that you literally are in a box asking them to give you their email address. You can hook it up so that the email address comes in and it triggers that opt-in to be sent right to them, to their email. They can download it and you can add them to your email list. So I'm going to get more techie here in a minute, trying to keep track of time. So some really great ideas for these freebies and opt-ins is to think about what your people, what your audience, or what people you meet on the street are asking you about your business. We have so many businesses that people just really and truly don't know what we do, right? A personal stylist. Okay, I'm assuming she works with clothes and works with people, you know, and helping them pick out clothes, but no one really knows what I do every day or how I actually go in and help a mom. So I could offer a freebie, you know, quiz, like, could you use a personal stylist? Sorry, I keep hitting the table and this thing keeps shaking. You know, could you use a personal stylist, or something along those lines, you know, and it obviously leads somebody to realize why they would need to use a personal stylist. Jen, who's a wealth management coach here, you know, Jen can offer a freebie on something she probably gets asked a lot. She specializes in female wealth building and female wealth management. And so she probably gets asked all the time, like, you know, I don't understand. I just don't get it about like stocks and things, you know, like I just don't really understand like what my IRA is doing. Like what is, you know, the difference between an IRA and a Roth IRA. And so if she has this knowledge, and it's something, I'm just using made up stuff, guys, like, yeah. But if she has this knowledge, this may be something she could put in a really cool short form freebie or opt-in to get out there. And I'm not saying that's what she's asked. I just, you know, things that you're asked all the time, or things that people are confused about, or just things that people want your advice on. You know, I do a top 10 list as my freebie from Wendy. That's great. Lists are awesome. The top 10 pieces you should have in your closet this spring, you know, those type of things. People love that stuff. I keep hitting this table, sorry. So those are ideas for freebies, and we can go through, you know, as we keep going. Skillshare is fun to learn new. Yes, exactly. I'm sorry, I can't really see these chats. I hope you guys are able to look at the chat. And if you're not, please do, because everyone's writing some really good comments in here. And I will try my best to add the comments in. By the way, when I said we were going to be recording this, and it is being recorded, I will upload it to our Facebook group in the next couple of days, so that anyone that couldn't join us can watch it. But also, I'm going to try to add the comments in too. So this is great. Keep talking, guys. I just can't read them while I'm doing this. So I have a few minutes or 10 minutes left. So I really wanted to go through a couple more things. When you have this email list, so now let's say, you know, you figured out how to get it started, how to start building it, you know what opt-in or freebie you want to use, and you now say, okay, great, I have this whole list. Like me, I had this list of 500 people, but I wasn't doing anything with it because I wasn't nurturing this list or leading them to anything, right? I put them on my list. Somebody hands me a business card and I always say, oh, do you mind if I email you? And they're like, sure. And then I never email them. So I didn't follow through on my word. So you get this list started, you got to do something with it, or else it's all for naught. And in fact, it's kind of making you look like a flake, right? It's kind of making you look like, oh, she said she'd email and she never did. So I just wanted to remind you guys that email can be used to teach people what you are doing, teach people about, things they want to know, but it can also lead to sales. So email is the highest converting type of marketing out there. Now, social media is by far ramping up and taking, probably not taking over that, but it's definitely, it's skewed the numbers a little over the last few years. But if you look at long-term businesses that are successful, actually businesses that start, a new business that starts, businesses that use email marketing are 40 times more successful than businesses that don't. It doesn't mean that your business is not going to be successful if you're not using email marketing. I mean, I do just fine as personal stylist, without having nurtured my list, but just think of what you could do if you added to that and nurtured your list. I also don't want to give false hope here. I don't want to say, your business is going and you build this list and you start sending out emails that boom, you're just going to have like a 40-time explosion and you're going to, your business is going to last forever and you're going to do amazing. You're going to be able to get to 6 figures immediately. It's not that. I mean, quality over quantity, right? It's always about the quality of what you're putting out. And it's always about the quality of the content that you're providing. It's just like social media. If you're not putting out good quality content, then nobody cares, right? The markers in email marketing are open rate and click rate, or click-through rate. Open rate is, of those 500 people that I have on my list, how many are actually opening the email? And you would be surprised, because you're going to think 500 people, that's 500 people to read my email. It doesn't happen like that. Numbers are usually a lot lower than what you would expect. So some of you are very familiar with this. Some of you have already been doing email marketing for a long time, and an open rate of like 25% is fantastic for you. And it does vary depending on what you do and how often you've been doing it, how long you've been doing it, how experienced you are, what kind of content you're providing, all those things. But, if I had 25% of my 500 people opening every week, what is that, 125 people? I can't do math. I think that is 125 people. Yeah. So 125 people opening, that's still 125 people that are seeing my content, are interested, want more information from me. And so that would be amazing. That would be awesome. So it really kind of depends on what your expectations are. I think as your list grows, a lot of the times it's not linear. It's not like, well, if I grow this list from 500 to 10,000, I'm going to have, 2,500 people watching or reading my emails, right? It doesn't always go linear. Sometimes it's a curve, because the more people you have, the broader the audience, and it's not always going to stay the same numbers. I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense. I hope it is. I just don't want to give false hope. I don't want you to think, but I do believe that this is really, really important. I do believe that this is worth taking the time to do. And I do believe that if you begin to nurture your email list, done is better than perfect, right? We don't have to start off and just be like this amazing email marketing campaign and this amazing email nurture sequence or welcome sequence. Just get started. Just send the email, right? Just get it out there. Just say hello to people. Just let them know what you're planning on doing. Then they can hold you accountable. Let them know that you plan on using this email list. Wouldn't tell them an email list, but you plan on using this form of communication as a newsletter or as a way to tell them about your specials that you're running. Let them know. Just get it started and get going. So I know we have a lot of amazing women in here in this group. I'm kind of talking to you guys as though you don't have an email list, and I know we have, or don't do anything with it. And I know we have so many of you that do amazing things with your email list. So on the Facebook group, when I post this video, I'm going to also put some questions in the comments to kind of keep the conversation going. So please chime in, jump in with your ideas, your recommendations, your experiences with this, and because we would all love to learn from each other. It's not just learning from me. This is meant to be learning from each other, and that's why I love meeting in person so we can all talk. And you can also unmute yourself if you really want to say something here. But I really wanted to tell you, I've got a few minutes left, about my biggest new secret to email list and email marketing, and the reason you're going to see me more in your inbox. If you are on our business casual email list and you're receiving our emails, then you're also on my Mama Crush email list. And you can unsubscribe if you want to, but I added you in, and mainly it's because I wanted you to see exactly what I'm doing. And it's also because I wanted you guys to hold me accountable. I wanted you all to see, like, oh, all right, good. Leanne is sending out emails because she said she was going to. So my new secret is something really, really cool. And it's not a secret per se. It's just something that I've discovered that I don't think a lot of people know about. There are two female entrepreneurs, Martha Bitar, and I can't remember the other woman's name, Rebecca something, and they were featured on the Jenna Kutcher Goal Digger podcast. And if you're not familiar with Goal Digger or Jenna Kutcher, she is the email marketing course creation guru queen. There's a lot of them, but Jenna is amazing, and her podcast is pretty awesome. And she had featured some like female entrepreneurs to keep your eye on this year. And these two women were on this podcast, and I'm just listening, and I perked up when they started talking because I was like, what is this amazing thing they're talking about? So they decided, they were both entrepreneurs, they both had businesses, and they used ConvertKit and MailChimp, which are two of the biggest email service providers. And so if you are using those, that's wonderful. I'm so glad you guys are starting with the email list and getting, starting to use it. But they noticed that there were some gaps in this, with this, using these server providers or email providers. And so they started talking, and they started coming up with all these ideas and solutions to the gaps in the problem and the problems that they were having with ConvertKit and MailChimp. So especially for creative entrepreneurs, we like our emails to be pretty, right? We like our emails to look good and to be designed well. And I don't know if you've found, if you ever download like an email template from someone, I know a lot of, I think even Jenna Kutcher sells email templates, or you go to Canva and you make a pretty email and then you try to put that into ConvertKit or MailChimp, it doesn't always work right. It doesn't convert well. It doesn't always look pretty. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So they said, first of all, we want better design, and we want better design control, just like Canva. Like we have such great control when you use Canva to make graphics. And so they wanted that for their email service provider. So they decided to start their own email service provider. And these two women were not in tech. They were one of them was a graphic designer, but they were not in tech. They didn't know how to build software. But they built this email service provider software, and it's called Flowdesk, Flodesk. I meant to write down the Jenna Kutcher podcast episode, but I just looked them up on podcasts too, and I listened to a couple of different podcasts that they were on because I was interested to learn more. And they saw these gaps in the market. They decided to make this new software, which is a huge undertaking. But these are the things that they wanted them to be. Ease of use, right? So they wanted to make it very, very easy for you to send emails, create workflows. And workflows are when I said, like somebody signs up for your opt-in, and then they get put onto your list, and then they receive the opt-in email, and then they also receive, they get popped onto your welcome email, and then they get popped into the regular list. So all these different steps that can be taken, those are workflows. So they wanted to make that really easy for you to set up. They also wanted it to be aesthetically pleasing, and the graphics to be beautiful, and the designs to be beautiful. Those of you that have gotten the business casual or the Mama Crush emails, did you like the way they looked? Did you think that they looked good? Because I did not come up with that. I did not sit for hours and make those. I dragged and dropped. And so it's a much more like a drag and drop kind of thing. You put in your, they have them set up. They have all these templates set up for you. And it's amazing. You do have some creative control. You can change them. You can absolutely change the color scheme. You can put in fonts. They have a lot of fonts available, but you can add in your own, signature fonts. And so you can make it personalized. There's a place to put your logo. They also wanted to be very user-friendly, like user-centric. So the way an iPhone kind of learns you and learns what you do, like in the mornings when I wake up now, my phone automatically tells me, like, here's the weather, or it's a little notification, because it knows that every morning when I get up, I always look up the weather. So Apple is made that way. They wanted Flowdesk to be made that way too. They wanted to be, kind of learn your methods and learn what you do. So they're working on that, and, to be even better. They have been in beta testing. It's live, it's usable, it's going. I mean, this company is taking off, but it's been in beta testing. I think it still kind of is. The beauty of that is that they are changing it based on what you want and and what you're doing there in the in the email marketing software. So it's kind of like you get to be on the ground floor of this, new service provider. The other thing is they wanted to be affordable. It is very affordable. It's $38 a month forever. So they may change that price once it's out of beta testing, but right now it's $38 a month forever, no matter how big your list gets. So I know like MailChimp and ConvertKit, MailChimp has a free version and it's fantastic, but it's, so MailChimp is fantastic, but the free version doesn't have all of the options and all of the features that you might want, if you have to pay for it. And both of those providers, as they grow, can you embed video? I think you can. I haven't done it yet. Sorry, I'll get on here. Okay, Anna's saying yes. Anna's using it as well. So as your list grows, the price doesn't change. So I think MailChimp and ConvertKit, the price doesn't change until you get like really high up, pretty far out. But if you ever do get there, you don't want to have to pay, insane amounts of money for that. And it is very, very expensive. So this is $38 a month for life. However, I have a code for you, and I'm going to put it, I'll probably put it in the chat, but I'm going to put it on their Facebook group for sure. And it's $19 a month. It's half price. It's $19 a month for life. So I'm going to have this code for you. I will put it in the Facebook group. $19 a month for life. I mean, 19 bucks a month, guys, is very, very affordable for an email service provider. I think you're really going to like it. I think that the templates just make it so easy and so simple. It does integrate with other software through Zapier. So Zapier is an app that you can connect it's a software that you can connect apps together. So for instance, if I am collecting emails on my website, well, that's a bad example because on my website I can link, well, let's just use that. If I was collecting emails somewhere, I can make it so that Zapier then zaps that email over to Flowdesk for me and puts them into a workflow. So it can be integrated. If you have a Shopify store, they are already integrated with Shopify, where they collect the email addresses or they segment people for you. I should have mentioned that too. You can still, in this email provider, segment people. So right now, I only have one account. I need to do two, one for the Mama Crush and one for Business Casual. But right now, I just have the one account and I have all 500 plus the Mama Crush, but then I have segmented marked Business Casual, like BC or for all of you Business Casual ladies, so that you're separated out. And that's when I send emails to just Business Casual, I'm only sending them to that segment. So I don't want to take up any more of your time. I just wanted to tell you guys that we have this special code that you can have this $19 a month for life. It has been a game changer for me. I'm excited to get on and start emailing. I'm excited to look at the templates and to just fill in info. Remember, emails don't have to be overwhelming. They don't have to be like a book, right? They can be short, to the point. You can just tell people the things you need to tell them. It's much more important that you are sending out quality content. It's also a great thing to do to update people on what you're doing. If you put out like some fantastic Instagram posts this week that just got a ton of engagement, you were super excited about everything you put out, you were like jamming on your content, then maybe just take it to email and just tell them, hey, go check out my Instagram, right? Go check out my Instagram this week. So there's always something you can email and let people know what to do. I wouldn't say in your email, just check out my Instagram. I would say like, here's what I've been talking about on Instagram. Let's make it content worthy, right? So that's what I wanted to tell you guys about is this is my new secret. It's called Flowdesk. I hope you guys will go on there and check it out. $19 a month. I mean, if anything, give it a shot for a month. I guarantee you, get on there, start doing it. There's a lot of help. They have great support, and there's a lot of just information out there. Like if you go to Pinterest, you look it up, you can find a lot of articles on Flowdesk and how to use it and that sort of thing. Anna, it looks like she's using it. I'm going to pull up this chat, and it's going to kind of block out. Easiest, I have a freebie. It says it's so worth it. Flowdesk is we're paying for. Anna's saying, yeah, Anna had written in here that you can get it for $19 forever. You can. I do have a link for you guys, and so I will put that in, like I said, in the Facebook group, and I'm not even going to put it here. I just want you guys to go join the Facebook group since we can't meet in person all the time now for at least a while. I'm hoping that the Facebook group, we will get more active on there and that we will, you know, be able to talk on there more often. So if you are not on the Facebook group, go to our Facebook page, which is Business Casual Mastermind, and like that page. But on there, you'll see the little tab for groups, and there's only one group right now, and it's Business Casual NPB, meaning North Palm Beach County. So Business Casual NPB, go on there, request to join, I'll approve you, and then you can get all this information about Flowdesk and the link to get $19 per month for life. So I hope this was helpful, ladies. I'm going to come up with more fun stuff to talk about over the next few weeks. We'll do a meeting a week. I'll put out a calendar probably over the weekend, so pay attention and check your emails. And if you are not getting my emails from Business Casual Mastermind, themamacrush@gmail.com, drop me a DM. You can text me always. My phone number is on a whole bunch of stuff. And I would love to hear from you guys. So Anna thinks, at least Anna thinks I'm awesome. So I miss you guys. I hope to see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.